Alright, hello and welcome back to the OlimoLeague, guys. We do have a best of 3 for you here in the round of 8, and 2 absolutely fantastic players before us. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, this guy's probably had the most success in 2015 with online cups between the Leaf Fan Cup, OlimoLeagues and what have you. We have Invasion Esports, Red Terran, Gumiho.
In the bottom right, it's the Blue Zerg Revival,
who does have a 100% better win rate in 2v2s than Gumiho does.
Oh.
As we recently learned.
Hey.
Revival, I feel a little bit bad. Revival is one of those Koreans that I think a lot of people put to the side. He's definitely not the best Zerg player in Korea, but he's good. And the problem is, because in Korea you're either great or nothing, he kind of gets classified as nothing. Which is sad too, because we do see that represented in a lot of these online cups that he plays in. But we recently held a 2v2 tournament, and it's not that he won, paired up with Tasia, but it's really impressive to see him almost carry Tasia on his back through several of those matches. We keep referencing this and not to beat a dead horse or anything, but he did play incredibly well. And I really wish we would see that really aggressive Roach style out of him come to his 1v1s. I feel that would work really well against a lot of Terran players who like the slower game, who like playing, for example, mech.
Well, maybe he will if Gumiho does play mech.
Yeah, that's a big if. Yeah, these you take it. I can't. These maps, I can't.
Oh. I was actually going to bring up the point that Gumiho did play in our TVT tournament, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he played with Troya.
They actually won a game, right?
Yeah, he played with Troya, but they still got knocked out pretty early.
It's not 100% win record over Gumiho.
For tournaments, yes.
Well...
So tell me the last time someone was like, well, you know what? He didn't win IEM Katowice, but he won one game in the round of 16, so he's good in my books.
You just made it sound like Gumiho didn't even try, okay? Alright? Alright?
Well, sorry, I thought you were going to talk about the fact that you said maybe he'll play mech, not the 2v2 thing, but I think calling maybe mech is a pretty big deal. Because these maps have really horrible thirds and fourths, we've actually seen Gumiho playing bio quite frequently in recent days. And it doesn't look anywhere near as strong as his mech does, but it's not like his bio is bad. It's still quite good, but it's not, oh my god, OP God mode the way his mech is.
Bio's, it's underpowered. It can never be God mode. Jesus frickin'. Anyways, I would actually say I'm concerned about Revival. Like, no matter what Gumiho does, because if he is going to play mech, it's probably going to be the aggressive sort of mech, not the battlecruiser mech, which is the OP mech that we're talking about. Because, like, look at the distance between, Zerg space and Terran space. Like, that is such an easy attack for the Terran. That's why we see, for the most part, whenever these positions occur, that the Zerg player just kind of hopes to get lings in, or they all in. I think that's the only thing we've ever seen happen when this occurs.
Man, we always come into the map and when we see these spawn locations, we talk horizontal, we talk gold base and all this jazz, but we still really have yet to see this come into effect.
Dude, I'm saying, like, I let you have your piece, your gold base, and your island base too, but I'm just like, Rifkin's never gonna happen in these positions.
I know. What I really want to see is like a Terran player who will like aggressively take a quick planetary as a third or something absurd. I know. Hold on, guys. I know it's not probably the best way to play the map out, but I'm just saying it'd be fun to see because you're like, well, Zerg player, I've completely cut off one whole avenue of attack from you. What will you do now?
There was that game that we cast with Terran was top left and Zerg was top right. I remember who it was. But because the game dragged on for so long, the Terran did take the gold base. I'm just, Does that count? That counts.
No. That's like trying to say Cross's secret base counted. It does not.
It totally counted. He got like 200 minerals from it.
Did you see, by the way, Parting? I know you came home late because of the blizzard. Did you see Parting and Solar on this map? I think it was Parting and Solar on this map, at least.
Yeah, I saw like the end of it, basically.
Well, Parting tried to take a base and War Prismed it up, and then Solar did like this like Nidus Worm or something. Or maybe it wasn't Solar. It was last week's OlimoLeague, those.
Oh yeah, it was.
So fun, and I really wish there's more dynamic to the island play. It's kind of sad that there's not, but anyways, we do have the 2 base Mutalisks coming here out of Revival. You got Bailing Nest, so he might just try and pop off an all-in if he gets scared of Hellbats, but the idea behind this build is it's really hard to play greedy on these new maps. Same reason for Terrans is really hard to actually take a third. It's really hard for a Zerg player to defend a third as well if there's something simple like a Hellion Banshee opener. So going for a 2-base Mutalisk build is not necessarily because he wants to get aggressive, and it's not necessarily because he's scared of Hellions or Hellbats, but it's just because it gives him a more secure mid-game opposed to trying to play greedy with a fast third. It's actually really weird to see a macro hatchery this early. That's going to be a big red flag here for Gumiho as he scouts that. And,
yeah, I would be very scared. The Hellions come out here, and that's fine, but I wouldn't throw them in there. Ooh, that's... yeah. I mean, even without the threat of more Lings on the way, that was 2 Queens and a Spinecrawler.
yeah.
Okay. You see even more Hellions.
I mean,
it's an interesting choice, but a good one, I think. Like, if he assumes that macro hatchery means that there's going to be a Baneling attack with the mutas, then Hellions are a great choice.
Oh, but Revival brings all his Lings in the main to deal with a couple of Reapers, so this does let the Hellions slip by. Now, sadly for Gumiho, he doesn't exactly devastate the drone line, but 12 workers killed is still quite nice when you're playing off of 2 bases like this, opposed to having that third hatchery mining the entire duration. You know, we're talking a big game for mutas. This might just be a Roach Baneling all in.
That's so weird, though. He didn't cancel Aspire.
I don't think that's necessarily a problem, though. Having 5 mutas... Yeah, but having 5 mutas in the air to either pick off Medivacs or prep scout, I mean, it doesn't have to be the all-in. It's just, it's weird to see the Roach Warren come down this late.
Oh, I think I'm still calling, like, is that a drone of the third? Okay, maybe he still gets a third, but I'm still calling, like, an attack of some sort. Like, maybe not. Maybe he just is trying to, like, he's assuming that Gumiho's gonna go Mac. Actually, I think the Overseer saw that he's gonna go Mac. It did. But, like, then why invest into centrifugal hooks? You know, that's the big question mark now, as he knows it's Mac.
I mean, it's not bad when Hellbats come into play, because it's really hard to chew through them. They've got so much health.
It can be really good. It definitely can.
But yeah, you're right. Like this early, again, the timings for Revival just seem a little bit awkward because, well, I don't think he was expecting to play against Mech, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Third CC was heading for the gold, so props to Gumiho. Don't think it's gonna go up the sadly.
But it wasn't gonna be a planetary. What was even the point?
Well, this is such wishful thinking. Looks like there might actually be enough Vikings to push this back. Didn't realize he had gone so Viking heavy so early, but I guess that is one way to cover not having Thors. And he's not even going to trample this back. I love the balls on Gumiho. He's just like, no, I'm taking this third. Excuse me.
It's going to work out. You know, Revival, having invested in that third and all of those mutas, he doesn't really have a lot of like money or gas.
No.
To get like a ton of roaches. He's getting them, though. Like, he does not want to let this third go unopposed for a very long time, but it's, you know, it's a trickle of roaches. It's not like 20, 30 at a time.
Oh, some Lings actually slip by while this goes on, but to discuss the merits of this third base, it's not about it being a gold per se, but what it does allow Gumiho to do is expand towards his opponent. And
that's enough roaches. Like, again, Revival not on the best drone count, 49, but
landing the Vikings.
These roaches right now is like, I think it's gonna work.
Is lifting up a Viking in the air like burrow micros? What's going on here?
Exactly what it is.
Point defense drone going to come down. This will actually win the Vikings the fight, strangely enough. I'm surprised he's still sitting in range of the mutas, though. Auto turn on the backside. A couple of Thors and tanks coming across the map, but losing all these precious mules to the gold.
It
was weird.
Gumiho see to go for the gold.
Yeah, no. It was really weird. I really think it came down to trying to expand towards his opponent. Hoping to just put that siege line right in Revival's face, but now he's going to get pushed back. Now, the nice thing, though, is behind all of this, okay, he has to retreat from the goal, but the command center lives, and he also killed all the Mutalisks. Oftentimes, these Mutalisks run rampant for so long, and you're constantly trying to shuffle around and defend your mineral lines, but without that, only roaches. Well, we are seeing Revival kind of apply what I had wished.
Yeah, just go roaches. Lots of roaches.
I mean, they will be able to take down some of the Thors, but that tank line is set up way too well, so yeah, forced to back away from this.
Yeah. But he's still denying a third. Gumiho calls down Yules right now. They're probably just going to get sniped. So not probably worth it. But Revival also going for Swarm Host, so kind of the flipping the dynamic of these spawn positions from being, oh my god, the mech player can just push really fast, to, oh my god, the Locusts are right there in my face.
I really wish Gumiho would take the island, would have taken the island base instead of the gold. I mean, he knew the Mutalisks were gone.
I'm just saying.
He had Medivacs out.
Take the island base.
It would have been, tell me that's not a roach safe base to take, seriously.
No, it is, and I would have been surprised to see a Nidus Worm on 3 bases from Revival, but...
I mean, like, he could have potentially invested back in your mutas, but a couple of turrets really take care of that. Either way, I mean, I was kind of half joking when I said it. It's not like I'm Revival's coach or anything like that, but I do love that he went so Roach aggressive. This definitely was good at shutting down the gold base. It was amazing at denying this third over here, but picked off a Thor, put a lot of pressure on, and now Gumiho, who would normally love to be on 3 bases already, possibly moving towards his 4th, getting towards that air tech with double armor raise, is stuck with 1 upgrade, ground mech, and lots of tanks and hellbats, not battle cruisers and ravens.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He only has 1 armory. That's a really important part. I thought that would mean that, once he got third base, he would maybe push out, with +2 or maybe +3 if you really had to wait that long. But the extra 2 command centers is kind of like, okay, maybe not. Maybe he's going to, like, macro really hard. Now, as a mech player with only 4 gases, you're going to have a lot of minerals. So maybe that is just, dumping the bank into something more useful than a bunch of Hellions, but...
Well, looks like he's going to try and secure this third. Definitely took long enough, but at the same time, we had some cool harass going on. The Hellbat drops got a little bit done. He put some spore collars down because, well, what do you know? There's some Vikings looking to possibly just shred the Overlords. It's almost like Gumiho's signature move. I don't know anyone else who does this like he does, but we've seen Life lose an entire set of Overlords to this. We've seen Rogue as well, but decides to turn around and not invest too deeply into this. Nice point defense turn though, kept his Vikings alive.
Well, we're gonna start to see those Storm Hosts really power forward here. They got 2 options, and it's gonna be a little bit of a problem for Gumiho to defend if the Storm Host count gets really, really high. If the Locust count is really high. 2 tanks in the natural deal with a moderate amount now, but what if all, 20 Swarm Hosts send their Locusts into the natural? You're gonna lose your supply depots, it's gonna open up the floodgates, maybe the Roaches get in. These positions are just... they're good. And then once Gumiho does have a very powerful army, if he can ever get to that point, then they go again to being really scary for Revival. But for now, Revival feels pretty safe, I'm guessing. He's like, I got 3 more minutes at least before you feel comfortable to attack. Let me do something. Yeah,
and I think a lot of the comfort that comes from that too is just knowing how long the third was not mining, but more importantly, if there's no third, there's no fourth. And that's where I think it really comes down for mech, because you just don't have that gas income. Now, the problem with the Locust coming in is there is really nice high ground setup on this map. The ramps are horrible and wide, so they're really good for Roaches coming in, but not so much for Locusts per se. The other thing too is there's so many Hellions out, and what's crazy to consider is this many Hellions with blue flame finishes, they could actually just burn through the Locust waves and run right on top of the Swarm Host themselves. It's a shame, by the way, Gumiho doesn't have 1 single Banshee right now, too. It would have been really fantastic to have.
Oh my god, he just roasted all the Swarm Hosts. Oh, that was pretty sick.
Yeah, the nice thing about that, moreover, is that it's a lot of Swarm Hosts dead, and that's cool, but he trades out mineral-based units for this. In a scenario where Gumiho has too many minerals and not enough anything else, looks he also snipes off the 3 Swarm Hosts here to the south with a land with those Vikings. So again, all sorts of cool moves coming out of Gumiho, and poor bad Observer Rifkin is missing it all for you. But still, the point is, he's getting it done in a situation where you would expect a Terran player to sit here turtled up, build 19 tanks, and never be able to push. No, Gumiho completely shuts down the Swarm Hosts before they cause too much damage.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big part, I'm guessing, of Revival's plan here. I mean, if Gumiho didn't want to push after that, and that's fine. So he doesn't, want to be too aggressive and throw away this nice composition that he has. But if he would have been able to do something. Like, being down a majority, like a 20 supply that was going to be Swarm Hosts is a pretty big deal with defending against a mech push.
I like that scan after the Secret Missile, by the way. The I want to see what my work did type scan. But it does see more Swarm Hosts out. But now there's so many tanks out he can push into this. There's so many blue flame Hellions, more importantly. Trading out Hellions for the Locust is really not too problematic for a mech player. And, well, what does Revival really do at this point? He was expecting to have a lot more time on his hands. He was trying to get to that Hive Tech with Ultras. He took so many bases. He's not in trouble, but the push is coming. And this is something we see snowball out of control a lot of the times. In fact, these Hellions are even taking down the Swarm Hosts. SCVs are being pulled.
Well, away from the way.
Well, I think this is actually just to come repair the
Might
army.
as well pull them. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
yeah, that was like the 3-minute timer that I said. It was kind of just a guess out there, but it was like 3 to 4 minutes. So Revival should have expected some attack to happen soon. He was no longer taking out any army.
Oh,
I'm actually kind of surprised that.
Oh, the Viking hit squad!
He's defending this.
He takes out so many Swarm Hosts before they're ready to go. 1 new set of Locusts. Oh, sorry, 2. There's another one that's got like 1 health underneath it, but still. This is the death push. Even with the Banelings finishing up.
It's a scary army.
waste like 3 banlings on a single SCV. The Hellbat's going to soak some hits here too. The Viking's going to be able to focus, fire down. Now, you might want to say, oh, it's a bit of a base trade because there's roaches on the other side of the map, but it's not even close. It's not even close.
I mean, Revival, had he had a huge bank... Oh, actually, this Muta switch might be enough. I kind of forgot that he had a Spire.
I don't think so.
Oh, wait,
there's
yeah, there's
Thors and a hell of Vikings.
Well, there's only one Thor, which I was like, well, maybe, but there are a lot of Vikings, and if they get any amount of kiting, then the Mutas will be low enough in number not to win the game.
SCVs are actually attacking the drones underneath. It's kind of funny to see. Point defense drone. No, auto turret actually could come down to really solidify this. But yeah, normally Mutas are really good against Vikings, just not in this quantity. Not with this many Vikings shooting at you. So Gumiho will completely devastate the man. He kills the Ultra Cavern. He kills the Spire, so no more Mutalisks coming out anytime soon. And Revival, I mean, he's got 3 bases to fall back on. He's not totally out of this as he trades out with his opponent, but I can't foresee a situation unless the Mutalisk, unless he can get that Muta count up to like 25 or 30, there's just no way to take on this army because there is not a lot of anti-air. If the Vikings were to die, if the Thor was to go down, truthfully, the Mutalisk would clean up the tanks and Revival would win this game. But buying himself enough time to get to that point, trying to get layer back up, I mean, this is all things, like he just does not have that much time.
It's possible though. Like, I really thought there were more Thors. I thought there was like 3 Thors, you know, because that's usually what happens. Like, even though they know their opponent at the time is going roaches, they still add in like 2, 3 more Thors because they know the Muta switch is very possible. But Gumiho, not technically accounting for that, or maybe thinking the Vikings would be enough forever, might have made a mistake if Revival could get back up to a lair and a Spire. Losing that Spire was a big deal.
So Revival's going for more Locusts, and a lot of you might think, why bother with Swarmhouse? They didn't work the first time, why would they work this time? And the answer for this is actually, it's the only thing he can make right now. The Rush Warren only just finished. The Spawning Pool, no point in making Lings against Blue Flame. But looks like Gumiho will maybe get 1 command center out, barely.
Ooh. Is it possible he wins in a literal base race?
Ooh,
like,
you know what? Actually, he pulls away from the army, so there's no Thor support. Perhaps feeling a little more confident. I mean, the Mutas don't have a lot of range, but they also have a lot of speed, something the Vikings don't. So he's actually starting to lose out, and I don't know. I don't think 3, 4 Mutas can take on 1 Thor, especially with SCV repairs.
All they have to do is kill that command center, and it's gonna go over creep. But there's only 3 Mutas left, so I don't think it'll... Well, it's already kind of low. If he gets the command center, there's no other buildings.
Well,
and Gumiho can't build anything.
He can lift what... Yeah, he's still got...
No, okay, without losing the Mutas. If he kills command center, still has 3 Mutas, and he still wins.
Oh, he can't scan for anything anymore. The Raven died as well with that push. He's got no money. He can't repair.
But if he loses the Mutas, he can't clean up the rest of the floating buildings. So he has to be very, very careful.
The Locust might just whittle him down. It's gonna burn down maybe, but can the Locust whittle down this army? I mean...
Oh, just target that command center at the Locusts. No,
what's left? What's left for Revival? He's on... This hatchery's his last building.
Oh, build something.
Nope. Okay, so that came down a little bit more down to the wire than I thought it was going to. But Gumiho will take game number 1.
I just want to say, Revival probably